What's going on? In this video, I'm going to show you everything that's inside this bag. Spoilers, there's some hacking tools in here with some pen testing tools, some Wi-Fi hacking tools, and some really cheap, effective things in here that you could pretty much either make yourself. And I'm going to show you some really expensive things that I have in here. Very good things to start your cybersecurity journey. And one thing I've learned is that you just dive into cybersecurity. A lot of things you can learn hands-on, and I'm going to show you some of the tools that might help you learn. All right, so in this video, I'm gonna put all the things from cheapest to most expensive. And the first things I'm gonna bring up here are the flash drives. Flash drives are fairly cheap. I think you can get all of these. I think I got 8 of these for maybe 10 to 15 bucks on Amazon. And online there's a lot of free stuff. You can download Kali Linux. I definitely advise you to get Kali Linux if you're a beginner, because there's a lot of things you can learn on Kali. This one has the install version of Kali. So if you take a computer and install this OS on an old computer, this has the installation stuff already ready to go. This is a really cool hacking tool. This is Kali Live with persistence, which means that this little guy is basically a mini computer. I plug this in anywhere, boot off of this, and it'll save my settings and files on here. So I can pretty much use someone else's computer, plug this guy in, and we're able to use it as if it's your own. This is, again, fairly cheap because you can just get this stuff free offline, the OS. You just pick which one you want. And then having a Windows install is always good, because if you get an old computer you don't know the password and stuff too, and you need to get into it, or somebody hands you a computer and it's yours, they want to give it to you, but they don't know the password stuff, it's locked. This is just install Windows 10 all over again, and you're pretty much good to go. So this is the best, cheapest way to get started. Definitely the Kali Linux way and the live boot. I'll be making videos explaining this later on, so make sure you hit that subscribe button on my channel. But this is going to be the cheapest way to start, is getting some USBs and playing around with live boots, and definitely Kali Linux. This is probably the best free, almost free stuff that you can start with, is these guys right here. So the next level up is going to be these Raspberry Pis. This one is a Raspberry Pi Zero W. This one can connect to Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And this one right here is a Pico. These both are basically bad USBs. This one is just, you can plug this guy in if you program it. There's a lot of free stuff online on GitHub that turn this into a bad USB. And this is only, I think, $8 for this. If you were to buy a bad USB or a rubber ducky off of a Hack5, it's like $80 to $90, I believe now. But you can get one for only $8 right here. Now this one is about 25 because it has the Wi-Fi capability built into it, and I did this battery modification to it. So this way I could turn this on. There's a little switch on this guy. There you go. So now this thing's live. I can connect to this on my phone, and I can install payloads on this guy. Then when I get to a destination computer, or one I'm working on or doing pen testing on, I just plug it into the computer and walk away, and I can pretty much, as long as I got Wi-Fi range, I can send payloads and do damage to whatever device it is. So this altogether costed me probably, you don't need the battery bank. I only like it because I can do editing on the fly. Just the top part, the Raspberry Pi Zero W, it runs you about $25. So now we're going from $10 or so to $25, and then this guy is in between. I should probably have this guy in between a little bit more. But this guy, if you could program it right, make sure you have Windows 10, because 11 doesn't really work too well when you're trying to install this stuff. This is the way to go. This is a bad USB. So basically, this plugs into your computer. Your computer thinks it's a keyboard or a mouse, and it just allows it to connect without any signing in or any kind of security measure. And you can pretty much do whatever you want. It types lines of code and superhuman speeds, and you can do a lot of damage doing that. So. But again, very good tool, and I built this one myself. I'm going to leave a link in the description for this guy and how to do it. I also have a video on my channel about this device too, how great it is. Definitely a great beginner stuff, because if you break it, it's cheap. And instead of buying a really expensive bad USB, you can make your own. And you learn by making it on your own. So just like that, doing things yourself, that's how you learn with the cybersecurity stuff. And in my journey, this is what I found best, is playing around with things, breaking things is the best way to learn. All right, so that's the second step. Let's move on to the third one. All right, so now we're moving up here with a little bit of money now. So this is about, I believe, $70 to $80. This is a Alpha Wi-Fi adapter. This allows you to plug this in a computer. So if you have an old computer with a bad Wi-Fi card or an old Wi-Fi card, usually you can only look at networks at 1.4 gigahertz networks, not the like the Wi-Fi 5 or a 6 or 7. This device allows you to listen to all of those and do packet injection as well as monitoring, because not a lot of cards support those modes. Wi-Fi cards support those modes, so you're gonna need this if you want to be doing some Wi-Fi penetration testing. So like this would go hand in hand with the Kali Linux, because this device works. This one in particular works really well with Kali and the drivers. I had some issues with it getting to work with Windows 11. I'm still looking into, but I know it works on Windows 10 pretty well, and definitely works on Kali Linux. This is the one they recommend for Kali Linux, and I'll put that link in the description as well. So now you're getting up to speed here. So you're going from bad USB to OSs that have a lot of hacking tools built into it already, and now you're getting into the more finite stuff. Now I like personally the more of the Wi-Fi hacking and the Wi-Fi Wi-Fi penetration. So hard for me to say that. Testing with this guy. I'm again be making more videos about this stuff later on, but I wanted to show you my kit, my starter kit here of the stuff I have as we advance through this channel. So this is where I'm at with this. Let's move on to the fourth one. All right, so this guy right here is a watch, but it's a Wi-Fi hacking watch. This is a D'auther. I did some modifications to this guy myself. I ended up taking this guy apart, and I installed a Wi-Fi antenna because the range on this is pretty bad. But now it's gonna be, I can't really wear it now because I have this long antenna that's attached to it. But basically this has a lot of hacking tools already built into it. So this is like a mini computer in your hand, only designed for Wi-Fi hacking. You can do, you can connect to your phone. It gives you a little bit more functionality with this guy, but off just wearing it on your wrist. You can do things like deauthentication packets. You can basically kick people off a network. You can scan networks. You can see what Wi-Fi channels people are using. This thing has a lot of good Wi-Fi tools just already ready to go. So, and I'll make a video on this guy breaking deeper into it now that I did the modification so I can get better range and stuff with it. But this is good. This is about, I think, $80 to $90. So it's close to similar in price here. But if you're looking into like a device that you want to get into Wi-Fi penetration testing and you want to understand how the stuff works, this is a great tool to start with. This one, again, the way it works when it sends a deauthentication packet, you kick somebody off a network. Again, you got to be very careful because, this, again, all this stuff is for educational purposes only. Jamming and kicking people off the internet is highly illegal. It could be dangerous. Don't only do this in controlled environments, especially ones that you have either A, full control over, or B, you have given permission to do this stuff to. Don't do this to your neighbor, etc. This is only for educational purposes. And again, this watch is a great like beginner Wi-Fi penetration testing tool. So, and then they have one they call like a Wi-Fi Nugget. It's just like this device, but a little bit more like portable in your hands. That one's a really cool one, but I ended up getting the watch because I always thought it's cool to have devices you can wear that kind of like blend in, that people wouldn't think twice of. So, all right, we'll break into that one more in another video, but now we're getting up to the big boys here. All right, now that brings me to my Flipper Zero. Now this is probably the most fun device I have because it just has so much built into it in a small package. So the Flipper Zero is great because it can do this can do a lot. This could be a bad USB. This can do Bluetooth hacking. It has apps. I mean, it has a nice, simple user interface. You have the bad USB. You can scan the keys, open garage doors. You could turn your TV on and off, any TV on and off, really. This thing has it has an infrared stuff reader and writer. Let's see, you got sub-gigahertz remote. It doesn't do Wi-Fi stuff, but you can buy a module, which I have, but my dad's doing some soldering on it right now because I'm trying to do some custom things. You can do Wi-Fi, just like this. It has all the capabilities of basically this. But you just have to plug something in. It's called a Wi-Fi board, and you can pretty much do this too. But in your pocket, this is great because you can your work key, like one of those like cards you scan to get into a door. This can do that too. You can write cards too. You can the Bluetooth hack, jam. Again, in controlled environments, this is a learning tool. But this thing can do a lot. I would highly recommend looking into this more. I'll be making more videos to come about this guy. But this is like the Swiss Army knife of like hacking things, because it has everything in your hand. It doesn't do one thing super well. It just does a bunch of things pretty good, and it fits in your pocket. So like this is the one you would take with you to go everywhere if you want to go somewhere. This is the guy to have. So this one's about $170. So this is expensive, but you get so much in your hands. It could charge a USB Type C. It's keychain there. Again, it has it has more things you can add to it to make it even cooler. I ended up putting a case on it just because it's in my pocket a lot. I don't want to scratch it up too much. I put a screen protector on it. So really, this is probably like almost $200 altogether. But this is a great beginning tool because it can do so much. You can put bad USB payloads on it. You can send bad USB stuff through Bluetooth, so you don't have to be plugged into a computer. You just be near a computer. You can control their mouse, do all kinds of cool, fun things. Again, the Flipper Zero, I would definitely look this up. I'll put the link in the description as well for this one. If it's legal in your country. There's some countries that this guy's not illegal in. Last year, you weren't able to get this back in 2022 in America. They banned the shipments of these things. But now you can get them. I was lucky to get one this year because they probably won't be around for that much longer because how dangerous these things can be. But again, great learning tool. I was able to break into my garage door with this too. So very, very cool tool. And this one's modified. This has a Unleashed firmware on it. This stuff you can get on the internet. There's on GitHub, there's different softwares you can put on this to make it even more powerful, take full advantage of all the hardware in here. So again, this is a Flipper Zero. This is probably one of the coolest tools I have. The next one's going to be probably my favorite because I'm more into Wi-Fi penetration. Oh my god. The next one I'm going to show you is definitely let me just cut that all out. But again, this is the Flipper Zero. I highly recommend getting this guy because it can just do so much. It does a little bit of everything, and you could find out what you like with this. Like, if you want to do bad USB, Bluetooth stuff, Wi-Fi stuff, if you buy the adapter, hacking just TVs and remotes, etc. Like, this is a really good beginner device. I highly recommend it because you can play around with this, you can break it, you can rebuild it. There's a lot you can do with this. Again, Flipper Zero. About 100, I think like almost $200 for this guy, especially with all the little add-ons and stuff after you get done with it. Let's move on to the last one. All right, so the last one here is this Wi-Fi Pineapple Mach 7 Tactical. So this guy right here has a really cool GUI. Very simple to set up. You plug it in, you do the update, you remote into it, and once you get into this guy, you could do tons of Wi-Fi penetration testing stuff. This thing has a lot of stuff pre-built. You do the deauthentication, you can look up networks, you can clone networks, you can do bad portals, evil twin. I mean, this thing has pretty much every Wi-Fi capable hacking tool built into it. And the cool thing is that there's an enterprise model. This is like, they have a really cheap version, but it's really hard to get. And this one's like the mid-range Wi-Fi hacking tool from Hak5. Then they have an enterprise model. But the enterprise model runs the same software as this model. So if you want to learn and start off, this is a great guide. So keep in mind that this is the tactical version. So this device alone will do Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz networks. And this adapter right here, this adapter just unplugged. This one makes it so I can do Wi-Fi 5 networks. So the 5 gigahertz networks, that's what this one can do. So as soon as I plug that in, there's no added things I got to do. It recognizes it. And then instead of scanning 2.4, it'll scan both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks. And it's just easy as plugging it in, and boom, I'm ready to go. So again, nice and light and portable. It comes with the cool stickers when you get the Mach 7 tactical version here, and it comes with the bag. That's where I got this whole goodie bag here. That's where I put all my tools in. I love this carry bag. It's so convenient. Again, this is the tool I use pretty much the most. I'm having a hard time making videos for this because I got to find a way to do it without like showing other people's networks. I got to blur out a lot. So I'm working on making videos on this. I just got to figure out how to do it and how to show things without showing too much, if that makes any sense. This is a really great device to get into because this is more like professional use. This is more like a toy. This is like somewhere in between because it's more of a toy. You can do like little gadget things with like this is more professional use. Like if you want to get into the field, this is definitely probably one of the best tools to get into Wi-Fi and network stuff right here. Even this mixed with Kali Linux or using something like Wireshark, like using the two to look at packets and you can even like take Wi-Fi passwords. So this could capture a three-way handshake, and then it could once it gets that handshake, it could try to break the hash off, and you bring that hash to Kali Linux and have it go through some kind of password cracking or hash cracking software, and then you got the password to get into the Wi-Fi. But you have bad portals. There's a lot of things you can do. There's so much you can do. Like this has so much that so many things you can learn on it. So I know I'm rambling a little bit, but like I'm trying to go right off the cuff here because again, I'm also learning cybersecurity too. But I figure like while I'm learning and doing my adventure, maybe I can help somebody else. Because again, cybersecurity is the future because everything's going to be plugged into a network. Everything's going to be on a computer. It's just the way it's going to be. Now AI is coming for a lot of technical jobs, but there's a lot of things that AI can't catch, and AI is going to be needs to be monitored for even in the beginning. So we still got a chance out here. You know, AI is not going to take over every single thing. We're still going to need the human touch for a couple things, but knowing basic security tools and what to look out for is what's going to separate you from somebody that loses their job later on, someone that will have another job. So once the thing with cybersecurity too, I've heard, and even from professionals, I'm not a professional, but I heard from professionals that you got to have these kind of projects. So me building this guy right here on my own was a great learning experience, and it was a cybersecurity project. All this stuff is cybersecurity learning, and I have a little bit of everything here, and it helps me grow every day. So I learn something new. I break something. I don't understand why something doesn't work. I look into it and I figure out the reason why. Same thing with this guy. So it's just this is what's in my bag. I highly recommend just going for it. Don't say to yourself, "Oh, it's not worth it. I don't need to get into the cybersecurity stuff," or "I'm just worried about doing it." Just go and do it. It's fun. It really is fun. Just be safe about it. Just do it the right way. Don't hack your neighbors. Just sit there and just practice on your own stuff. I get an old computer like I have. I got a whole bunch of old computers I break into and try to simulate a bad thing. I even did with this watch in particular. I ended up hacking into my Ring doorbell, and I took my package and I went inside and I turned it off, and you saw nothing. Like on the camera feed it just went blacked out, and the package just disappeared. No one knew. Like you can learn about stuff like that. Now I'm more aware. Okay, so I maybe shouldn't have my Ring doorbell on a 2.4 gigahertz network because it's cheap devices like this could just easily do that. Like if I had on a 5 or 6 gigahertz network, that wouldn't have happened. This device wouldn't be able to affect that at all. So like there's things like that you learn. Like all right, so now I know I could tell somebody it's more safer to use a doorbell with a 5 or 6 Wi-Fi 6 or 7 connection because of that safety loophole when it comes to these devices. But anyway, let's get back to the ending here. Cheapest, you go from below $10 to about etc. Just get a USB and get some of the free stuff online. You start working on your own projects here with the Raspberry Pi Zeros, the Wi-Fi adapter. Now you're getting up to almost $100. Now this is pretty much about $100, $80, $90 for this watch. And the Flipper Zero, again, this is a great Swiss Army knife of hacking, I guess, because it could just do so much, and it could fit in your pocket. And I think this is fun because you can learn a lot about the bad USBs. You could even put the Ducky script stuff on this. It just works. This is just a really good tool to start. Like if I had to say, if you had $100-$200 you want to start off with, it'd be somewhere between getting these two devices here. I would probably shoot for this guy more because again, this is more like playing around. You can make a bad USB for dirt cheap, right? You could even probably do something with those, but this is the easier way to make the bad USBs. You don't technically need this, but when it comes to Wi-Fi stuff, this is pretty cool. And this is like more of a fun project like this one. I modified this to get more range and stuff, but again, this is like nice and easy. I mean, you could start out with just right here. That's how I started with this. I'm like, all right, I want to upgrade. I want to do more Wi-Fi stuff because my Wi-Fi card can't support it. I want something I can have in my pocket and do cool things around my friends. And while I'm explaining vulnerabilities, I can show them vulnerabilities. And then this guy is what I'm really practicing on because this is what I want to get into. This is where the money's at, I believe. There's always going to be networks and there's always going to be ways to break into them. So studying it with the Wi-Fi hacking tools is probably the best way to go. So again, I'm sorry this video I ramble a lot, but I just really want to go off the cuff and just like explain to you how I'm studying and how I'm learning. And the future's AI. So all those little tiny like beginner jobs are gonna disappear. It's just you need to learn the fundamentals and you need to learn like how things work. And the best way to do that is by testing it and using this cheap, pretty much this is a cheap setup. Like everything here is under like 500 bucks. I mean, no, it doesn't seem like that, but when I went to college, one book was like $600. So like one book from college, you can buy all these tools and you could start testing and doing things on your own and start sharpening your skills. I mean, you can go to college and get a degree and everything, but sometimes I notice that sometimes like you can just pass and get by. You don't really learn anything, but you have a piece of paper saying you did learn something, and then when you go out in the field, you don't know what you're doing. So this is the best way to stop that so you know what you're talking about and what you're doing, because this field is going to be very tough to get into later on as well. So nevertheless, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I mean, this is my setup. I mean, I forgot the patches too. I had a follower make me this patch. I like Ghost Recon. It's separate things. This is also a gaming channel. That's one of the tactics you can use. It's just one of the, it's like a Splinter Cell class, but they ended up making me this patch. It's awesome. And then Hack5 gave me this patch when I bought the tactical gear. So anyway, this is my setup. This is how I do ethical hacking and pen testing. Is everything you see here. And again, I highly recommend you just diving in, even if it's just something this simple, making a bootable Kali Linux Live USB and practicing off of that. Learn how to turn off secure boot and things like that. You're going to learn as you do this stuff. And if you break stuff at this area, it's not as bad. And again, and even if you break one of these, I mean, it's just it's a learning experience. Just got to dive in and go for it. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like these videos where I'm more laid back and it's not as like a professional setting or just being more like almost like talking to you individually. Let me know if you like that, and let me know in the comments which device you want me to get into the most on my channel. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about the rambling, and let me know if you like this kind of stuff. And I'll see you next time.